Hey Arlington, Texas. Last night, Thursday, March 31st, I went to the hike and bike plan they were talking about and letting the people have their voice on the hike and bike plan. I wanted to go over a few things with people because I'm not sure how many people are really familiar with the plan here in Arlington, Texas, and it kind of concerns me because you'd think more people would have showed up. I just don't think that enough people realize the scope of this because I don't think the city's doing a good enough job getting the word out. So first of all, I want you to know that it's supposedly a 30-year plan, maybe plus some years or minus some. I don't buy that. There will not be a city vote for this, so the only voice you're going to have is at these meetings. I want to talk about the cost. I want to talk about the mass transit, and I want to talk about the eminent domain aspect of it. So if we just want to go ahead and get started, then let's get this done. Alright, so let's talk about the cost of this thing, and I'm not going to lie, I don't have these figures memorized in my head, and I'm not going to memorize them just for the video, so I'm basically going to read them here. But let me talk to you about this, alright? What we're going to do here is we've got 28 miles of lane that they want to convert into bike path only, okay? So we've got 14 four-lane streets that are going to be affected. Those include section of Mitchell, Pecan, Norwood, Oakwood, and UTA Boulevard. Okay, now that's just portions of those streets. I don't think it's the entire street on any of those. But the fact is they want to take those streets and understand this. Convert those streets where there are now vehicles, apparently not because they want to take the vehicles off, those streets completely and make them only for bikes. That's right, just bikes. No cars whatsoever. Doesn't matter what time of day, no cars, just bikes. Alright, now I can understand that's around UTA, and there probably is a lot of bike traffic, but still, I don't know. I don't see having to close down complete streets for bicycles only. Alright, then they want to take 99 plus miles, and they've got to stripe this. Now, the stripes are $3,000 a mile. Now, this is going to connect all the bikers to all the key locations or destinations. Now, what could those destinations be? I know the paper said parks and schools, but I'm thinking those destinations are just going to be whatever they choose for those destinations to be. And at the rate they're going, it's probably going to lead to the state-owned gym. Okay, they want to take 56 miles of improvements, and those miles are going to be only on the paved shoulders and the wider outside lanes. Wait a minute. So you're going to make wider outside lanes. Let's see. That kind of goes with eminent domain. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. They're going to take land from people that are close to the street, and they're going to take your property. But this is all in the name, I want you to know, to keep all the cyclists safe. Because, you know, back when I was little, we just used the sidewalk. Alright, then they're going to take 118 miles of off-road. Now, this part, I am confused about. I really am. I'm kind of confused because I'm trying to figure out if we're going to make it off-road. Do the cyclists want to get to their destinations? Because at the meeting last night, I heard a lot about how that they would ride their bikes to work or they ride their bikes in competitions, but I'm confused a little as to why we need to go off-road and have so many miles, because either you want to get to where you're going or you want to play in the boonies. I don't know. Right now, Arlington has 30 miles of off-road, and we have a lot of off-road in some cities that are really close to us that they didn't even count. Joe Pool Lake and Cedar Hill is one of them. Cedar Hill has a 10-mile off-road trail, and it's considered to be one of the top mountain bike trails in the state of Texas. They also have 4 hiking trails, all on different levels. So as far as the hiking, again, I don't see any point for the hiking any more than I do the bike trails. The bike paths that go through the parks, now this figure is going to go from $3,000 and it can go as high as $1 million a mile. That's right, $1 million a mile, all in the name of bikes. So $15 million to repair sidewalks, $118 million to construct off-street trails, and $500 to $8,000 on the street paths. First of all, the only thing I don't have a problem with in this plan is that $15 million to repair the sidewalks. Why don't we do that? I tell you what, we got some really crappy sidewalks around the city of Arlington, especially when you get in the older neighborhoods. And I bet you they'd be thrilled to death to have that and not even care about the bike paths. But that is the cost, and I just kind of feel like people in Arlington need to be aware of this. This is a lot of money. It's going to be coming out of your kids' pockets and your pockets. And I just don't see how they're going to pay for it. I don't see the reason for it, because we could use firemen, we could use some more police officers, and I'm sure they would all like a raise. I'm sure we could use more teachers, and I'm sure they would appreciate a raise. So, I don't see any sense in this. This is just useless spending on, there's no justification for it because there's not enough bicyclers in Arlington. Okay, so now that you know roughly what the cost is going to be, doesn't it make you feel warm and fuzzy knowing that you're not going to get a say on this, that it's going to be this much money and that we don't get to vote on it? But somebody did go up to the mic last night and he got up there and said, I don't know what all the fuss is about because we elected these officials so they could make decisions for us. No, I elected Robert Rivera in the last election so he could be the voice for me. But I also, when I elected him, assumed by what he said, he was going to go with the majority. And ladies and gentlemen, the majority is not the bicyclers in this circumstance, because they are also working with AISD. So every bike that they are counting all them little kids and all them middle and high school kids that are riding their bikes around the neighborhoods. And the truth of the matter is last time I checked, one of the biggest freedoms for a kid is to be able to get their license and get in that vehicle and take off. That's one of their biggest goals, is in teenage years, is to get that license and have that freedom of having a vehicle and being able to go. So the bike numbers are skewed, and keep that in mind when you're taking all this into consideration. All right, let's talk about the mass transit now that's in this bill. I don't know how many people even know this or can remember it, or how many people have voted, or maybe they just didn't vote in the little elections, but Arlington has voted on mass transit 3 times, okay? Now, I don't know where I was that first time, but the last 2 times it's come up, I have voted it down. I don't want mass transit in Arlington. I have my own reasons for not wanting it. Yes, I've been a mother with 2 small children without a vehicle because we only had 1 vehicle. I still didn't want mass transit, and I just don't want it in the city of Arlington. I'm not opposed to it if a private investor comes in and does it, but then even then there's so much to it, because you know and I know that if it failed, the city would come in and want to pick it up, and then you're back in the city hands, and I just don't think it's something the city should control. But mass transit is in this hike and bike plan. So since we're not going to get to vote on the hike and bike plan, when they approve that, or if they approve it, then basically they are also approving mass transit. You silly little people of Arlington, you don't know what's best for you. You can vote, and you can vote no, but guess what? We will be the final decisions. I think Mayor Cluck pretty much summed it up by saying something real similar along those lines, that they are the deciding, they are the final say for the city of Arlington. Well, you know what, Mayor Cluck? I also know that Jerry Jones wants that mass transit. All right, let's talk about the eminent domain factor now. We've got a lot of bike paths that they're wanting to put in. We got a lot of hiking paths. They're going to put a hiking path right over here, just a few blocks from my house. It's already the start of one. It starts on Matlock, and it comes out here to the edge of Silo. But they're going to take it all the way to TCC. Now, my biggest thing is once you get past Owsley Junior High, you're getting into homes and property. There's even property facing TCC. So you start getting back there behind Beebency and stuff, and that's privately owned land. And I'm just curious, who's going to lose land? And do these people even realize they're going to lose land? Because unless you've been reading the paper, I don't know if you've even seen any of this is going on in the city. Maybe following my blogs, because I've been posting things here and there, but yeah, I'm just curious. And a lot of the eminent domain stuff, even on the street that they're going to be doing, they're still going to be coming up into the front yards of people. So there's a lot of little side streets that are in the residential areas that are also going to be affected by this. So is your street one of them? I mean, I don't know. I seen where Eden Road is on it, and it's not the Eden Road that's over by me, but I do know that the Eden Road that they're speaking of, there's homes over there. So yeah, it's going to affect a lot of people. So how many miles of eminent domain do you want to take? Because nobody could answer that last night. Let's find out about that. All right, the last thing I want to talk about here real quick is the lady that is doing all this and has put it together. Her name is Alicia Winklebelch, Blelch, Winkelblech. You can go out and Google her. Alicia is Alicia. Alicia is our chief transportation planner for the city of Arlington. And here's the thing that my son called her out on last night. She was not too happy about it. She hid behind Robert Rivera, and when she had to answer the guy's question that was behind my son, he asked, "Is it true? Is what he said true?" She didn't even open her mouth. She just shook her head yes, because she does not want people to know this. But we're talking about somebody that is involved with the Congress for the New Urbanism. Now, the thing about this is she was the founding board member in 2006, okay? So she's the founding board member of this urbanism crap, and she's the president. She becomes the president in 2009, okay? Now, here's the thing. They came up with this plan, this hike and bike plan, okay? This Congress for the New Urbanism. They came up with the hike and bike plan. She sits on this board. She's the president. I know it's a Joanne flyer, but here's the plan. They did the plan, okay? And then, here she comes. She comes over, and she's now working for the city of Arlington. We're paying her $90,000. And guess what? She goes, "Hey, I got this great plan. Here it is." You know what, people? That's a conflict of interest if you ask me. How can you be the one that writes the plan? Now you're working for the city and now you're forcing your plan? You're forcing it? You know what? It's called Agenda 21, people. I don't know if you believe in it or not, and I don't really care if you believe in it because I've read it, and I can tell you things that are in this plan that are part of Agenda 21. And the whole bikes, that's Agenda 21. They want you out of your vehicles. So, you know, it's something to think about because there's a lot of things happening, and, you know, our own Robert Rivera raised his hand when he was asked if he knew of Agenda 21, what council members. There were several council members that raised their hand. Here's the thing, people. Be careful what you connect yourself with because people are watching, and we don't want Agenda 21. We don't need it. So a lot of bad things come with Agenda 21, and if you don't know about it, I suggest you look it up and read it. It will really open your eyes to a lot of things that our dear president is even doing right now. So yeah, share this video with your friends and get it out into Arlington, and let's get a hold of our representatives. And oh, remember, vote Zach Maxwell, District 3.